Yeah, so the woman with the flow of blood in Mark 5 is, of course, again, a very important text. It's used so many times. In verse 28, which says this, "For she said, if I only may touch his clothes, I shall be made well." So the teaching comes here that the lady did not just believe it, she said it. And because she said it, it also produced for her. So you can have whatever you say. You can write your own ticket with God, as it's been said. Well, is this what Jesus is teaching? Is this what we find in the Gospels, that you have to speak for the miracle to take place? Well, again, I often say it this way, that when somebody has got a kind of twisted interpretation of something that really empowers them and blesses them, an interpretation that boosts their position in the world and gives them a lot of, confidence, and my words have power. And when I speak, mountains move. And when I just, I speak, my words create a power equal to God's, all these kinds of teachings really are sometimes like candy. They taste sweet. They give us, energy, and they actually boost our egos, right? So when you come with a more biblically sound interpretation of these scriptures, sometimes you feel like you're taking away a bag of candy or sweets from a kid, from a child. And every time you do that, children will respond, not that positively. If you don't know it, try it, don't. But anyway, it's like taking a bag of candy away from a kid and giving them a bag of carrots instead. It's that kind of process where you're actually taking away something that has tasted very sweet to people. And then you say, well, I'm sorry, that's not what the scripture means. And the first reaction is usually, like an outcry. And that's usually what I find here when when I teach students this, and when we look at Mark chapter 5 together, and they see that that's not what it means. Mark chapter 5 is not there to teach, certain steps to get your miracle. And one of those steps is to, speak it. Because if you speak it, it will happen. It's not there. Okay, let's look at it. What are possible interpretations of Mark chapter 5 here? That the woman with the flow of blood, or the issue of blood, that she said, right? Well, even in the parallel text, you'll find that it says that she said. And there in the parallel text, you even find that she said to herself. So it's in both texts, it is actually saying. Some translations have chosen to render this, she thought to herself, and that's maybe we can interpret it as an idiom that she did think, but it's very possible, and that's what it says. That it does say that she said this, right, and that she said it to herself. If I may only touch the hem of his garment, and so on. But let's look at the context here. What heals the woman? Is it her speaking? No, it is her action of moving close to Jesus and touching Jesus that heals her. So the point of the whole text is that just saying it didn't make any difference. It was moving on her belief, acting on her belief to go and encounter Jesus. That's what healed her, not her speech. Her speech just gave the intention of her heart. Her speech put her intentions into words. So we understand why she did this. But the healing is never attributed to her speech. The miracle is never credited to her speaking these things. That is an addition from outside. That is reading the text through a filter. But that's not what the Bible teaches. And notice also in verse 31, I think it is, verse 30, where Jesus turns around and says, "Who touched my clothes?" So Jesus did not ask, who spoke a positive confession here? That's not what he asked. He said, who touched me? Who touched my clothes? So the point of the story over and over again throughout the Gospels is that healing comes in the encounter with Jesus. And faith is what brings us into that encounter.